sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Leanie's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine your life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, 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 oh. It started with a chat, just a few of us there, talking about life and the stuff we all share. From kids to chaos and the mess we make, we bonded over laughs and every mistake. From bad hair days to a joke or two, no topic was off limits, nothing taboo. We laughed till we cried, had each other's backs. A sisterhood formed in the middle of tracks. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From late night texts to early morning calls, we've been through it all, big and small. From talking fashion to the crazy stuff, we've got each other's backs when life gets tough. We send memes and pics of the day gone wrong and the occasional "can you believe this song?" We share everything, no secrets to keep, like a wild dream that we never want to sleep. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From Tennessee, where the music plays, to sweet tea nights and lazy days. From England's hills to the country roads, our sisterhood's a bond that forever grows. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. Through the highs and the lows, we've been there. When the world feels heavy, we just don't care. We're loud, we're bold, we're a little bit wild. but always there for each other, with hearts so mild. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. So here's to the sisters who make life so sweet. We've got each other, no defeat. From the chat to the heart, it's all the same. We're a sisterhood forever in the friendship game. According to Lynette, the eclipse is to blame, but truly the Lord brought us together, and we'll never be the same.
Hello everyone. Can you let me know if you can hear me? Can you give us a mic test, please, Liz? Let me know how it sounds and if it sounds okay. Hi, Lunchy. Thanks for coming in. Lizzo, Mike, if you're still here. Mary Jane's out. Good to see you. Oh, made up. Thanks for coming in. So, tell me, is this mic clear? Does it sound echoey? Is it better than the other one I used to use, or should I change back over to the other one, or am I okay to keep this? Hello, Toshi. Good to see you. Thought you'd have been asleep. You sound good. So does it sound better, Lunchy, than the other one, the headset that I used to use? Because this is the same one, the little clip-on one, that if you've seen Dot using it and she sounds crisp clear. And I've seen loads of people using them and they're only cheap. I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go. So easy. You just plug it in and it automatically, goes on your Bluetooth automatically, goes on it. It's brilliant. So it's better than the headset. Oh, that's great. Okay then. So does it sound echoey? Because in this room, it does sound echoey. I've got like ceramic tile floors. So does it sound too hollow? I don't know. Mike's just come in and asked about the watch with Lynette HOOKER. So, okay, put a 1 in chat if you don't know anything about this case. You haven't been watching. Put a 1 in so I can work out what I'm going to say and what I'm not going to say. And it's great to be back. It's just when I was in here before, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God, where's this? Where's that? Where's the other? I didn't have a clue. I forgot where everything was. I thought I'm going to end up on the camera and I won't even know it. So, but there you go. So you know what's changed now? Oh, Mike, has the name of the last guy Leanie interviewed. Well, I don't know about that. I haven't got a clue. I'll have to watch that. I did start watching the replays, like, good few weeks like after Jessie, but so now what it looks like now, it's so different. You know the way you see the chat if you're in StreamYard, I don't know whether you use StreamYard. When you're in the chat in StreamYard, it's just like a normal chat you're watching on everyone else's. But you know this, this is like it's on boxes, all your chats are in blue boxes going down the screen. And I think it does make it a little bit easier. Let's see if it shows it on the screen. Hold on. No, see the way it shows it on the screen? Like that's how it used to look, isn't it? But everyone's is individual in blue boxes. It all lights up. So we aren't on vertical. It doesn't matter, does it? I don't think. Hang on. So you can have it like that on the screen here, or I can take that one off, hide the vertical, and just have it as it was then. Which one's better for you? So what Leanie said was, don't worry about it being the vertical and that. Just stay over here, and whatever goes on over there goes on. Don't worry about it. So yeah. So, Mike, nice to meet you. I'm Maggie, Leanie's co-host. I've been away for a couple of months and I'm just getting used to being back. Everything's changed in StreamYard. So I hope you can all bear with me. So I'm going to be starting from the beginning and I need to pin something up, but I don't know how to do it. I haven't got a clue. To pin, let me see, let me press things. No, that says pop out. What's that mean? Okay. I don't know how to pin something up to let people know what we're gonna be talking about this case anyway from the beginning. It's not a long one because it hasn't. It's gone. It just went dead for a while. There was nothing happening. And I hang on. I went to vertical. Still can't see him. Not to worry. Oh, why's that then? I know Mike's here now. Mike, you're over it. It says it doesn't say he's over there. You know, it says Lunchy. Right, okay. Lunchy, Lizzo, and yeah, Lunchy and Lizzo are the ones that are over in the vertical. Now, hang on. Now you're in the vertical. Because I can see I can see your phones at the side of your name. So you need to come in here. So come on over. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on all. So I'm made up. I've got the mic bit okay. So that's good. I'm just gonna have a little swig of coffee. And do you mind if I give it another 5 minutes or so? Just to wait for more people to come in, if that's okay. I can see him. So you need to come over here. So Lunchy, you're still in the vertical. Lizzo, it's showing you're still in the vertical. Okay, Lizzo, she's over here now. Lizzo, you're here. So that's good. Toshi's here. Yeah, so I think just wait. Lunchy's here. We are both where everyone is now. Grace, okay. So let me know if you've seen this, if you've been watching this case. Just let me know. Have you been watching it? Yeah or no? Lunchy, it's been a blur for me. It's been an absolute blur. But I'm not even going to go there and talk about it because that'll be it. You'd understand, don't you, girl? Well, Lunchy, it's honestly you've got to listen and then you'll see what you think because I've only heard like the first I don't know how long it's, as I say, it's been a blur, but I've heard a few, but I know where it's up to now because there's been a big gap and things are happening now. So I'm finding out what's going on. So it's not long, you know what I mean? It's going to be easy course up. So I've been watching 11s. I've been watching my 11s as well on this head. Oh my God, it's Lunchy. It's proper dented. It's a dent in my forehead or my forehead, whatever you call it. Can't get over it. Well, Lizzo, honestly, I'll just wait 5 minutes if that's okay. And see, yeah, Lunchy, honestly, it's terrible, terrible. Have you been watching it, Toshi? The Lynette HOOKER case? Tell me what you think anyway when you watch stuff. And you know what? I swear down, Lizzo, I don't frown. It's something I don't do. Can't get over it. Maggie, what am I going to do with myself? Why, what's happening on Friday? Oh, don't tell me you won't have the baby. Where's she going? She going to nursery? What's going on? Oh my God, what's going on? Hang on, let me move this picture. Hold on a minute. Hold on. How do I do this? And you know if I'm waffling too fast, can you just let me know? Because when I get nervous, that's what I do. Right, so. Oh, I don't know how to take this. There I am. Okay, so if I click that, okay, let's see, or do I, if I say for example, go, let's see if I can create a background. What shall I say? Background, true crime, create. Oh, here we go again. Is it my day? Prompt not allowed by safety filter. True crime. Let's see if I can do podcast. True crime podcast. Oh, something's happening. Something's happening. Think it's doing it. Saying generate. It's got a man on it. Try again. Hang on. True crime podcast. Let me put woman. Woman. Oh God, Lunchy, you missed it today. We were all doing AI. I don't know how to do AIs, right? And I've been practicing, and I said, if anyone needs any AIs, throw them over and let me do it. I haven't got a clue. Everything I was asking it for, it wouldn't do it. So I thought, so what's the point of this? Do you know what I mean? So we were doing some funny ones. Some of these are brilliant, Harry. Absolutely brilliant. Lou was brilliant. Hang on. So if I put that up there, oh, that's better. So I've got a bit of a background now, haven't I? That's better because it looked a bit bulgy, didn't it? Let me come back to comments. I need to read Lunchy's thingy about where she's going to be. Oh, and mummy's off work for the summer. Well, you know what, Lunchy? Just find yourself a game, put your feet up, relax and enjoy it. And I'm sure you'll still be seeing 11s because mummy will be throwing 11s at you. I guarantee. Give it a week and she's yours. Yeah, Liz, she's got to let it air down. Mike, if Lynette's body is discovered and she has that key from the dinghy boat, would that give any support to Brian's story? Well, who knows, because that could have been why he's left it there so it looks legit. Do you know what I mean? So it looks more believable. But the people in chat aren't up to this bit yet, Mike. So I'm going to start it from the beginning. So, Maggie, your new pic is so gorgeous. I did that on mute. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. It is it on mute. You want to see the one of me and Leanie? Hold on. Let's see if I can show you. Hold on. Where am I? Here we go. Tell me if you can see this. Can you see it? Look at all the dogs and little Wednesday the cat. And you know I never added Jessie in. And I did. Couldn't believe it. And look what it says at the back of my shoulder. Jessie is my shadow. I got all chills down my arm. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Oh God, how do I do that now? Here we go again. So yeah, Mike, so I'm going to start it from the beginning because the ladies in the chat haven't been watching it. One's been watching a little bit of it. So because I've missed a couple of weeks or so, I've heard about it, but I want to watch it properly, if you get me. Like I say, I'm going to watch it from the beginning and it won't take long. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody else comes in. Hiya, Tori, you okay? Oh, thanks for coming in. Welcome to June. Yeah, I didn't even know it was June. I thought it was May. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it's June. Oh, yeah, I love it. That's wild. I don't know what that means. So, yeah, we'll give it a couple of minutes. I'm just going to put some music on and try and do some stuff here in a minute. If you keep the chat going, thank you very kindly. And I'll be back in a minute.
According to Leanie, coffee's king. 6 rings in hand, she does her thing. Maggie's got the jokes we know. Together we are ready for the show. Chat's on fire, the crowd goes wild. Maggie's clips just drive me wild. Leanie's love for Java steams. We're living out our crazy dreams. On a chorus, Leanie, life's no lie. Sip that coffee, watch time fly. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Subscriptions climbing, views so high. Leanie's truth, it makes us cry. Maggie's got that wit so quick. We tune in daily for our fix. Community that stands so strong. Laughing, chatting all day long. From sunrise to the longest nights. Leanie's tales put out our lights. On a coins, Leanie, life's no joke. Spark that cig and take a toke. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Subscriptions climbing, views so high. Leanie's truth, it makes us cry. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show is always near. On a chorus, Leanie, life's no loud. Maggie's clips just drive me wild. Leanie's love for Java steams. We're living out our crazy dreams. On a chorus, Leanie, life's no lie. Sip that coffee, watch time fly. With Maggie by her side, it's clear the best damn show around is here. Best damn show is always here. The best damn show is always near. In the studio we laugh all day. She's got that sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Leanie's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile. Running jokes, mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. With a wicked smile, running jokes, mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong. Can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong. Can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leading life, guess it's gonna stay our little secret every day.
Okay, let's get this started. Let me get back over to comments. So, welcome to everyone in chat. Thanks for coming in. I'm made up. It's lovely to be back with everyone. I've had a good day today, so I'm made up. And thanks to everyone who's been with me today, made me laugh, and it's good to be home. Lovely to see you, Detour. And you, Dawn. Lovely to see you too. I can't see your name on here, so I don't know whether you've left. But Leanie, I'm sure she'll be in. She said she was coming over, so she'll be in chat. Probably. I think she might still be sleeping. I don't know. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's tell you the story. So I'm gonna read to you the story, okay? So here goes. I can't see the chat, so bear with me. Lynette Hooker, 55, and her husband, Brian Hooker, 58, both US nationals from Michigan, were on a small dinghy when Lynette fell off the boat during turbulent weather, according to Brian's account, shared by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Local authorities and the US Coast Guard scoured the bay near the incident in search of Lynette, but have now moved to a recovery operation, according to Richard Koch. So I won't read that bit because we don't want to know that yet. So on Saturday, which was the 4th of April, on Saturday night, the couple left Hope Town and were headed to Elbow Cay in a small 8-foot hard-bottom dinghy. Brian told the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and according to a news release from the agency, they were making their way back to their yacht, Soulmate, Cook said. Lynette fell out of the boat while they were on the dinghy, Brian told police. Cook added, Brian said she bounced out the back of the boat during the strong currents and was not wearing a personal flotation device. Strong currents subsequently carried her away and he lost sight of her. Brian told police Lynette was wearing the keys, also known as an engine safety lanyard, when she fell off the dinghy, which made the boat lose power. So he tried to paddle to shore, according to his account shared by police. The last time Brian said he saw Lynette, she was swimming towards the shore, Cook said. Brian said he tried to row to shore, but the winds made it difficult, he added. The dinghy drifted towards Marsh Harbour, where it ultimately was beached, and Brian transversed through the bush till he made it to Marsh Harbour Boatyard, where he made contact with the local police. Brian arrived in the boatyard around 4 a.m. Sunday, where he notified someone about his missing wife, who was able to reach police. Police said that didn't make sense at all. Once police were notified about Lynette's disappearance, their agency, along with the Royal Bahamas Defence Force and the Hope Town Volunteer Fire and Rescue, started searching the area. The Hope Town Volunteer Fire and Rescue were notified at 5:12 a.m. and searched extensively for 6 hours, but wasn't able to find her. The US Coast Guard also conducted a search by air, a spokesperson told CNN. Royal Bahamas Police Force said Tuesday that authorities are continuing the search, which has spanned marine land and aerial areas, with additional support from drone technology and professional divers. So think about this. The US State Department told CNN it is aware of reports regarding a missing American near Elbow Cay and is working with Bahamian authorities to provide assistance, an agency spokesman said. The State Department advises travellers to exercise increased caution in the Bahamas, which is listed under a level 2 to level travel advisory. Boating is not well regulated. Injuries and deaths have occurred. As authorities continue searching for Lynette, her daughter and mother told CNN they have several questions about what's happened, and both have been trying to reach Bahamian authorities for information. After struggling to reach investigators, Darlene Hamlet, Lynette's mother, is racing to get an emergency passport to fly to the Bahamas, and Lynette's daughter, Carly Aylesworth, has hired an attorney. We have many unanswered questions, said Hamlet. Our family is still in shock. We are still holding for a positive outcome to this tragedy. Both women said they want a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding Lynette's disappearance. Aylesworth said in a statement, I have been privy to very little information. My sole concern is to find out what happened to my mother and make sure a full and complete investigation is performed into her disappearance. The last time she spoke with her mother was on Friday, she told CNN. She found out about her mother's disappearance from her stepfather, Brian, who left her a voicemail. She said while she didn't share many details of what he said in the voicemail, Aylesworth said he told her they found a flotation device that was thrown to her mother. The longer Lynette is missing, the less optimistic she is that her mother will be found. The more time that goes on, the more I disbelieve that she will come back alive. I don't think that you can tread water for that long, but I hope maybe she's on an island somewhere. So Lynette and Brian have been married for 25 years and have been sailing for over a decade. They went from a small sailboat that could only fit 2 people to a more than 50-foot sailboat, which they used to sail around Lake Michigan. Her mother and stepdad have been in the Bahamas for about a month. The couple has documented their travels on Instagram and YouTube over the years, most recently showcasing their adventures in the Bahamas. So they've lived in the Bahamas on this boat now for the past 4 years. So he said she flew off the back of the dinghy. Now, she is a really good swimmer, a very good swimmer. So it's since come out. So I'm going to let you listen to Ashley Banfield because she covers it brilliant. So you'll hear how it all pans out with her. I love to hear Maggie read her voice, is so soothing. Oh my God, you're joking, aren't you? I make all mistakes. I'm terrified Miss Barbara's going to be here and say, Maggie, say this properly. Maggie, say that. Because when I was saying Tuscan, can't believe I was saying Tuscan. But I am who I am and I get it all wrong. I can't help it. So there you go anyway. So we're going to put Ashley on. I'm going to bring it up. Bear with me because I'll probably present myself. Let's see. Here we go. So pin your ears back, girls. Let me make this bigger. I can't see the screen. So have a listen.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield and this is Drop Dead Serious. Such are the perils of podcasting. I have just wrapped up an entire episode on this mysterious boating accident near Abaco in the Bahamas, where a husband says he was just bouncing along with his wife in the little dinghy when out she went and the current took her away and wouldn't you know it, she's dead. And so many other details that I'm about to tell you about that just don't pass the smell test. And I wrapped up the episode and boom, CNN drops a big piece of information that you need to know before watching this episode. So in a nutshell, basically, Lynette Hooker is missing. Brian Hooker, her husband, tells the Bahamas police she just fell overboard and she had the keys to the engine. I'll get there. And she was separated and a current took her away and I paddled ashore and there we are. Don't know where my wife is. So my big issue was in his story and all the details because I'm a boater, y'all. I'm a boater. So there were a lot of things that stood out to me, little details that really stood out to me where I said, dip. I don't know that happens. And I don't think that happens. my spidey senses were like on fire right away. And I kept wondering, we're 4 days, I'm recording this on the 8th of April, Wednesday. And my spidey senses said, why are the authorities not investigating this as a possible crime? Where's the criminal investigation in the Bahamas? And there wasn't one. And so I did my whole podcast and I did my
Can I just say, her lips aren't syncing with it, are they? And it's annoying me a little bit, but there's nothing I can do. Is it you and your heads in? If her lips aren't syncing? Is everything okay? It's okay with her lips not syncing because it's annoying me, but there you go. Okay, let's go back to Ashley Bonfield.
entire interview based on that fact and many more. And wouldn't you know it, CNN is just reporting now that the U.S. Coast Guard, not the Bahamians, the U.S. Coast Guard has opened a criminal investigation into the disappearance of this American woman, Lynette Hooker, after her husband, Brian Hooker, reported that she just fell overboard and the current took her away. And she had the keys, so I couldn't get the engine going to get her. So a couple of other things that you should know about CNN's report as well. They say that the U.S. Coast Guard has also interviewed their daughter. Well, actually, it's Lynette's daughter, Brian's stepdaughter. So that's important. And apparently that interview with Carly Aylesworth happened today. Again, it's Wednesday, April 8th. She had been sounding the alarm that she didn't like what she'd heard went on. You're going to hear in just a moment all the things that she's upset about, and she has very good reason. So a couple things. The Coast Guard, according to CNN, is there in the Bahamas and that they had been helping with the Bahamians during the search and rescue, but that it's now turned into a recovery, meaning they don't believe they're going to rescue a live person, but maybe recover the body of a dead person. But interesting to note that the Coast Guard is there, according to CNN. I also love the expression that Brian apparently uses with the Bahamian police. According to CNN, they say that Brian told police she just bounced out of the boat during strong currents and was not wearing a personal flotation device. Bounced. That's going to matter here because I'm going to show you the dinghy that they've been riding in and using in and putting on social media. And it looks to be about 8 feet as well. And it's often referred to in boating as a tender that goes in between land and the boat, the bigger boat that you either live on or you're using, and you've got moored somewhere and you can't walk over water. So you got to take a little boat, and they're usually small and drag behind a bigger boat or go up on deck. But the tender, the little rubber dinghy that they're seen in, well, the engine on it doesn't go so fast. It's just an itty bitty engine. It looks like to be, 2, 4, maybe a 6 horsepower. So bounced. I'm highly suspicious of that term, bounced. You got to be going at a bit of a clip in order to bounce off a wave. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it is like, wait, I'm sorry. This thing's like, it's very, very slow. And so bounced isn't doing it for me. I have bounced on the side of a dinghy before and tried to hold on for dear life. But it's usually when you're going at you got like a 25 or a 35 horsepower, maybe even more on the back, and you're cooking along and you're hitting the waves and you're bouncing. This one, I think that is a big red flag. There's also something that you should know that's coming up in the discussion that I have and the interview that I have. I have been so suspect of the story that was told that she bounced out and she had the keys. And then without the keys, the engine stopped and I couldn't get going again. Well, there's no keys, right? There are no keys to a little outboard engine. I haven't seen them in my lifetime anyway. And I've been boating for almost 6 decades. And so I thought maybe they're talking about a kill switch. And as it turns out, it looks like CNN's reporting suggests it may very well be a kill switch that he's referring to. Let me just tell you what CNN reports. Quote, strong currents subsequently carried her away. And quote, he lost sight of her, Brian told the Bahamian police. Lynette was wearing the keys, also known as an engine safety lanyard, when she fell off the dinghy. Okay, that makes more sense now. think about it when you're on a jet ski and you put that little bracelet around you that has a little coily cord that goes into a plug, that if you go bouncing or flying off, the jet ski will stop and you can swim back up to it. It's not just going to keep going off to the horizon, right? And leave you to drown. Those are called kill switches in just common parlance. And you have to be the driver to be using.
So I'll stop that there a little minute. So also, is the sound okay? Can you hear everything okay? Hi, Possum. Good to see you. So did you see the picture of the water, the way it was like crystal clear, and people can stand in it? But he was saying that the weather conditions was where she bounced off the boat. So things have come to pass now. There's a lot of red flags, basically. So we'll carry on and see what happens here. But as time goes on and Ashley Banfield starts covering it, every time there's a bit of news, honestly, she's so passionate about it. It's like it's one of her own she's talking about. She's so angry and she's adamant she can't stand him. She can't stand Brian Hooker at all, the Lynette's husband. She's just like she said, there's no way. So Lizzo said they said it wasn't that choppy. No, that's it, Liz. They said that the water she could have stood up in. But they had life jackets. They should have been wearing a life jacket, but they didn't. He said not many do. But they were under the seat and he never thrown in a life jacket. He thrown it, one of those things. It's like like what you call them in America, like polystyrene. Floats on top of the water. The kids can use them in the swimming pool to like float on. So he apparently thrown one of them. And they asked what she was wearing, and they said she was wearing a black swimsuit, but she had a black swimsuit with that blue shirt over it. You see it in the picture in the blue shirt. So I've got to slip you all in my pocket. Time to cook dinner. Okay, Lunchy. See you soon, love. Yeah, the water's so clear. So anyway, here goes. I'll play it again. Sam.
The kill switch bracelet. And usually you're in the boat by yourself when you do that. Because why would you want something to kill the engine if you fall out? You'd want the other person in the boat to go and drive the engine and the boat back around to you. So that doesn't pass the smell test for me either. No, that you get in the boat with two people and you put the kill switch on your wrist. Wouldn't happen. That is nuts. That's nuts. And also, Lynette's daughter, Carly, says that mom never drove the boat. It was always Brian who drove the boat. Okay, I'm willing to suspend disbelief there because maybe there was drinking involved and maybe he was too drunk. Whatever it is, maybe she was driving. But again, unless you were afraid of the other person in the boat. If you were afraid of the other person in the boat, you might put the kill switch on so that he couldn't push you over and drive off. That's a possibility. And think of that one. Anyway, so I recorded this entire podcast just before that news broke, like literally minutes before I just wrapped it up. So I just wanted to give you all of that before you begin watching right now. Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield and this is Drop Dead Serious. Have you been following this very, very strange boating accident in the Bahamas? So I have. First of all, I love a mystery, but also I'm a boater. And not only am I a dinghy boater, but also other kinds of watercraft and yachts. Like I actually have been a sailor on the kind of sailboat that the Hookers have been sailing on. Lynette and Brian Hooker apparently been sailing for over a decade, been married for 25 years. Lynette went overboard when they were taking the little 8-foot dinghy from land out to the yacht. She went overboard. Brian says, I couldn't get her. The current took her away too quickly. And she had the keys. And the engine stopped and I couldn't. So all that, to me, who's a boater and spent a lot of time in a dinghy, especially them little inflatables, was like, what the? That's not exactly how it works. You don't have keys to these little dinghy boats. They're usually outboards. Either you pull start them or push button start, but you don't have keys. There are no keys. Okay, look, I'm willing to say that might have gotten lost in translation, whatever. Game of telephone. It was reported one way. It came out the wrong way. But let's just talk about the logistics of it. Because there are kill switches that exists in those kinds of boats, right? A kill switch is like, it's like a little plug-in that goes into the engine. And if you pull it out, the engine stops, right? And unless you put it back in, you can't restart the engine. And typically those are for when you're alone on a sea-doo. You've probably seen, put the kill switch around your wrist in case you get bumped off and the thing keeps going without you and goes into the sunset and you're left alone and you need the thing to stop, right? So that's usually what a kill switch is for, when you're alone. And in those little boats, okay, maybe there's a kill switch on that engine. It's not that I haven't seen it before. I have, but you'd be the driver. And the driver is usually holding on to the outboard, right? There's a shaft and it usually has the speed on it. Sometimes the speed is elsewhere on the engine, but generally you've got like a handle, right, that you're holding on to, plus the side of the boat. So you're positioned this way. If you're going forward, you're holding let me move the microphone here. You're holding the shaft of the outboard. Sometimes you have your hand on the side of the boat and you drive that way for balance, for positioning. And so that kill switch would be around this wrist. In case, boink, you get bounced out, out comes the kill switch with the little coil that's on your wrist. But if there's somebody else in the boat, you don't put the kill switch on your wrist. Because why would you? Why would you? The kill switch would stop the engine. And if you get bounced out, they can't come get you. The kill switch is for when you're alone. The kill switch is to make sure the boat doesn't take off and maybe even circle back and cut you up or leave you alone to drown. It's when you're alone. It's not for when there's someone else in the boat with you. Keys? There's no fucking keys to an outboard. And if you've ever seen the pictures of Brian at least, and Lynette's little, what looks like a little 8-foot tender, the thing you get back and forth from your yacht to the mainland or to a dock or to another boat, that's a little outboard. And I've seen that engine on that. I don't know that this is the one they were in. I'm only presuming because it's on their social media accounts.
It was.
That looks to be like something between a 2 horsepower and maybe at the max a 6 horsepower. I don't even think it's a 6. Almost looks like a fishing trawler. I mean, honestly, you don't get a lot of speed on those. Which leads me to my next issue. If Brian Hooker is saying that Lynette, somehow ended up falling out of the tender, well, I can understand getting bounced out, but not with an engine that low horsepower, right? That thing don't even get going. Doesn't matter how big the waves are. You're not going to bounce out when you can barely get that thing going. You're going a little bit faster, you might bounce and bounce out. Don't get me started again on the kill switch. You're not wearing it if you're sitting up forward. And here's what's interesting. Lynette Hooker's daughter, her name is Carly Aylesworth. She says that her mom wouldn't drive. It was usually the husband, Brian, who would drive. So again, she don't got no keys if she's a passenger. There are no keys to a little itty bitty outboard engine. So I'm really suspect about this whole story to start with. Also, I've been boating for my whole life. And you may have seen some of my Instagrams. I used to go into town from the island where I live in the summertime in Canada. I usually live up in Canada with my family for better part of 3 months. And I would have to take a boat into town in order to do the TV show from the studio that I built, in the main town nearby. And then when that show was over, late at night, I'd get back in that boat and get back out to the island. And didn't matter what the weather was. You can't walk to an island. You got a boat. And so I would often go in really inclement weather, lightning, rainstorms, windstorms, waves, all the rest.
I just come back into the chat. Let's have a look. See if we've got anyone new come in. Is everything all right? They were both drinking all day in the hot sunny weather, and that's not now. They were drinking in the bar, weren't they? And someone took the picture of them, the last picture, and then, which you'll probably hear Ashley Banfield say, it might be like the next podcast or something. You see him on his own, standing on the, like, is it the beach where, you know, just before you go into the water, and he was just standing there, and there was no sign of it. Because at first I was thinking, when she completely gone missing, they had drones up and stuff, and they were all searching. I thought, surely to God, you know, they'd find her, because the water's that crystal clear. And they said where she was, where they were, there's like all little islands. They're like sort of in the middle, and there's all like little islands around them, like sandbanks, whatever you call them. That's what we call them. There's little sandbanks and stuff around them. So they can't understand. But then you think, could he have put something to weigh it down? Because he went and said he went missing for 9 hours on his dinghy. So could he have taken a body somewhere? I mean, where could you put it? I'm not familiar with the sea or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't have a clue how it works. So, hiya, JB. Good to see you, girl. And also, it's come to pass as well that this Brian Hooker, whatever, Hooker, he turns something off that shows, you know, you can be spotted, you know, where you can see aeroplanes and you can see boats and stuff like that. Well, he turns his off so he can't be tracked whilst he do that. Also, the Wi-Fi. On that night that happened, he turned the Wi-Fi off, apparently. So that's another thing as well. But she'll get to that. But honestly, this part now, I think, looking back, is a bit slow because she's just going on about this key. But when she really gets into this as time goes by, oh my God, she's so passionate. And you're like, oh God, I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of her. Do you know what I mean? Wasn't the stepdaughter tracking her? It was Lynette's daughter. Not, he's the stepfather. Brian is the stepfather to Lynette's daughter. Because the mum as well had a watch on, didn't she? One of those watches, you know, that you can do all kinds on. And she's supposed to have gone in the water. It shows, what I'll tell you, I didn't want to like mention anything, but someone takes a picture of them sitting near the beach there just before they got in the dinghy to go. Whatever reason they took it, I don't know. Maybe they were saying, God, they've had a few drinks and they're going to get on that dinghy. Who knows? That's why they took the picture. But if you look on the picture, she's got the watch on. Now, on Soulmate, not the dinghy, the proper boat, her watch is supposed to have been there. So how was that? Yes, she couldn't track the journey because it turns everything off. So, yeah. So, how was she wearing the watch on the picture? A last picture taken before she got on the dinghy, which was to take them to the boat, the Soulmate, which they never got there because she bounced off, supposedly. And the watch was on the boat. So that's dodgy, isn't it? Straight away.
I'm pretty careful about that stuff. I don't go flying through there so that I bounce out of my boat. I've been doing it forever, along with most of my friends and neighbors and loved ones up there. We've learned how to live in a boating community and an island community. So these guys have been boating for at least a decade. They know, and they're getting in their little tender that's only 8 feet. 8 feet is just a little longer than a 6 foot long man, right? And Brian's saying the weather's terrible. So what are you doing getting into your tender to go out to your yacht? Shelter where you are on land. Everybody knows that if the weather's brutal and awful, you really shouldn't be getting into a little 8-foot boat to go out to your yacht. That's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that's what they did. Maybe there was drinking involved. I don't know. But still, so much of the story does not make any sense. And then we hear that Carly Aylesworth tells Fox News there's a history of him choking her out and threatening to throw her overboard.
Yeah.
What? She continues. So the fact that this is actually happening makes me believe there's more to the story. Carly says, I do believe something might have happened to her.
Yes. So apparently their relationship was very volatile, and she got in touch with her friends and said they were too close on that boat. In other words, there was no room for them to breathe, and it wasn't going good, and she was coming back, and that's what she was planning to do. And the daughter said he's choked the mother. She's had bruises and stuff on her, and her friends have also got text messages to say what's happened, and she's ended up going back to him. But it looks like now she was planning to get away from him, and then this happens. So it just, I mean, I wouldn't have a clue about boats and all that, but I thought when you're on that little dinghy, who would go on that if the waters are dodgy? Someone took pictures. Someone was on their boats and said that the water wasn't. If they were on shallow water, the water was still. There was hardly any movement at all. So, yeah, let's carry on.
Not only that, but Carly Aylesworth also told Fox and Friends, quote, I've seen him choke out one of his daughters before.
Yeah.
And he had to go to court for that. I was only in 3rd grade, end quote. Again, this is Brian Hooker's stepdaughter, Carly Aylesworth, whose mother is now missing, right? Brian's wife, Carly's mom, now missing, with this weird story about falling out of the 8-foot dinghy on the way out to the yacht, and the current swept her away, and oh no, I paddled into Marsh Harbor. She also says that when Brian drank alcohol, his persona would change. She said, quote, he starts to act more like a more smart assy and more picking at you, and like, I know this will irritate you, so I'm going to do that type of attitude. That's what Carly Aylesworth said about her stepfather, Brian Hooker. This all happened Saturday night, and I'm recording this on April 8th on a Wednesday. So it's been days. And we've just come to learn that Carly says that her stepfather didn't even tell her that her mom had been swept out. This is his story, swept out by a current, and he couldn't reach her. Didn't even tell her for 24 hours. What's that? Right? I mean, the search and rescue is going on for 24 hours and you don't tell her daughter until 24 hours later. That's weird. Again, okay, maybe some people do that. I'm going to stack up all the weirds, right? Because after a while, I start saying there's coincidences and weirds, and then there's just a big old pile, and it starts to look pretty suspicious.
Yeah.
So Carly is, back here in the U.S. wondering what the F. This happened at Abaco in the Bahamas. At this recording, they haven't even opened a criminal investigation on this yet. They're sort of taking his word for it, but I'm sure that they're maybe looking, trying to figure out what's what. But dudes, come on. It's like Wednesday. This happened Saturday. Brian said that he tried to get her. She was swept away by the currents after falling from the dinghy. They were trying to reach their yacht. He's 55. She is, let's see. Sorry. She's 55. He's 58. her daughter says, quote, Brian's always driving. So he basically is in charge of the key. Again, using the term the key, it's not a key. I mean, look, I could be wrong here. I've just never seen a key to a little outboard, especially something with that tiny little horsepower. Could be talking about the kill switch. That might be it. Maybe it's something like the engine to a jet ski, but not what I saw. It's just a tiny little thing, if that's the one they're in. But usually one of those little rubber dinghies, it's not like a jet ski. You don't have keys to those. So I'm surprised at that. She goes on to say, so the fact that my mom had it doesn't make any sense. Again, could be the kill switch plug. It could be that they're talking about. Then the news is that Brian paddled to the Marsh Harbor boatyard. The Marsh Harbor boatyard, arriving at 4 a.m. Before his wife was reported missing. So whatever time at night, Saturday night, they're supposedly heading back out to the yacht. She goes overboard, flies away by the current. He can't catch up to her. And then he starts paddling. 4 a.m. Here's the voicemail that Brian Hooker left for Carly Aylesworth, his stepdaughter, the daughter of Lynette, who's now missing and maybe presumed drowned at this point. Have a listen. This is what CBS was able to obtain.
Hello, honey. I just got a call from Hooktown Search and Rescue, and I found a flotation device that I threw to Mom when she fell overboard, and so they haven't found her yet, but they can now focus all of their efforts in a smaller area, and they're still out there searching today. So I just wanted to update you and let you know. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
So the last Brian told officials, according to CNN, he saw his wife swimming toward the shore. They've been boating for a decade. They know how to swim. If they're going back and forth, in little dinghies, you're just not a boater like that without knowing how to swim. And maybe the weather was terrible, but how terrible would the weather have been that you would get in an 8-foot dinghy? It couldn't have been, 8-foot swells. No way. No chance. So if she's swimming towards shore, unless she's absolutely hammered and gulps water and somehow passes out, I guess it's possible. But again, yet another what? Just add that to the pile. Obviously Carly is trying everything she can to, raise the red flag here. They haven't started, as of this recording, this criminal investigation, which I feel like should have started on hour one. The minute I read these facts, I'm like, what do you mean the keys to a little outboard? What? But Carly says, the more time goes on, the more I disbelieve that she will come back alive. I don't think that you can tread water for that long, but I hope maybe she's on a...
So what I'll do is I might play this forwards a little bit now, because basically she's just repeating herself, going like she can't believe she doesn't know about this key and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So Possum says, the only question I have is how much is the insurance payout? That was mentioned, but I have forgotten. I've forgotten a lot about this little details, which is why I'm catching up on it, Possum. But I'm going to play this forward. I might even go to the next one, because this will just be the same thing over and over. So I'll go now and I'll stop sharing that, and then I'll try and find. She brings her daughter up. Hang on. Here's a man talking now, so just bear with me. Okay, let me just pause this here, and then I'll go back in and share this, because she's talking to a man now. I think he's some type of specialist person who understands it all. So I'll share that. that full screen, and there you go.
Given what we know and what we don't know, because this is very early on, we don't even know if this will result in a criminal investigation. What do you make of what has transpired this early in the case of Mr. and Mrs. Hooker in the Bahamas?
From the news reports, it is that she fell in the water in sort of challenging environmental conditions with winds and waves and that sort of thing. People fall in the water all the time, and they would be the object of a search and rescue action. So on its face, in the absence of any other circumstances, I would characterize it as a fairly typical search and rescue case.
I am trying to play through everything that happened because I'm a boater, and actually I'm a dinghy operator. I'm a captain of moderate vessels, but I don't know a lot of 8-foot hard bottom dinghies that have a separate key that if you fall in the water and get separated from the engine, it would stop the engine. I'm familiar with kill switches, but usually that's when you're alone in the boat and you're connected to the outboard. And if you go over, the engine stops and you can make it back to your boat. It's not typical when you're in a boat with someone else.
Well, that was what I took it to be too from the story. I mean, it sounds like it was a kill switch of some sort. And, I don't know why, if the boat came equipped with it, then why not use it? Or at least maybe that's a good standard practice. And I don't know really from the reports whether it was their boat, it was a dinghy that they towed behind their sailboat wherever they went, or whether it's something that they rented from shore or were using from shore from a marina or anything like that. So it may be that in fact there was a kill switch on the boat, and that's just the way it was.
And listen, it could be the game of telephone here. I haven't heard specifically Brian Hooker saying the words, she had the keys and fell overboard. But certainly if somebody were to say to me, she had the keys and fall overboard, I'd slap handcuffs on them. Because again, a kill switch is not keys. It's just a little plug and it pulls out. And any boater, and these folks have been boaters for a long, long time, knows that and would never call a kill switch keys. Am I crazy?
No, I think so. I think you're right. The kill switch is a pretty well-known, first of all, as an item of equipment, but also the term I think is in common use. But again, at least from what I've seen, I'm relying on media reports, and as we all know, those can oftentimes be just, not through any intentional or reasons, but it's just if people aren't skilled in nautical lingo, for example, then they just may use a term like key for something that a boater like you would know as a kill switch.
And I'm accommodating for that because that's what I assume before we actually see any kind of formal quotes given to the police or the investigators. It must mean a lot to you. I mean, I couldn't be talking to a better person, someone who's a captain, who's got Coast Guard experience, who's also an attorney. It must mean a lot to you that Lynette's daughter, Lynette being the missing woman, her daughter, none of this is sitting well with her. She is quite vocal saying that Brian, Lynette's husband, has been rough with her before. Here's a quote that the daughter's name is Carly Aylesworth. She said, "There's a history of him choking her out and threatening to throw her overboard. So the fact that this is actually happening makes me believe there's more to the story." I mean, from an attorney's perspective, that must mean a lot.
Well, it certainly grounds for, I think I alluded to before, in the absence of anything else, this could be a routine case. But with facts like that, it certainly raises a level of concern. Let's put it that way. And so, it does. Assuming that what the daughter is reporting is
not
correct and true, then those very same circumstances happen. Maybe it's just horribly bad luck, or maybe there's something nefarious behind it.
In the US, that would tickle the spidey senses of investigators, and they would dig deeper right away, knowing that perhaps this daughter is suggesting there's a history of some kind of domestic abuse. That would be a big incentive for investigators to move more rapidly into that direction. But this is the Bahamas, and every jurisdiction's a little different. And maritime incidents are also different. Can you walk me through a little bit of how that, complicates things here?
Yeah, for sure. If it's in Bahamas, then they're going to have the primary jurisdiction, whether it for law enforcement purposes, whether it happened on land or in their waters. I presume from the description, it's very close to Bahamian land, so it'd be in their territorial sea. And in those waters, that's the sovereign waters of Bahamas, and they would have the principal law enforcement jurisdiction. So they would have primacy. Now, if the U.S. had a particular interest in this case, they could ask the Bahamians to conduct more of an to conduct an investigation at all, or to conduct more of an investigation than they otherwise might. Or the U.S. could request from the Bahamians that they be permitted to join a Bahamian investigation, or to otherwise participate in what Bahamas is doing. But
so also, what was said by Brian Hooker was he wasn't leaving the island until Lynette was found. And he said it's going to have to be, what was it, the top cops or whoever that I'd have to stop me. They'd be the only people that could stop me. I am not leaving without her. And within 4 hours, he was on a plane going home. So no one's heard from him since. Don't know where he is. He said his mum was sick, but according to Lynette's daughter, she said his mum is sick, but she's been sick for years. It's not something he would have to rush home for. But that's what he said. He was gone within 4 hours. Hi, Joe. Thanks for coming in, hon. I hope you can understand me. We're just covering the Lynette Hooker from the beginning of when she's supposed to have bounced, whatever, off a dinghy when they were on the way to go to their boat, the Soulmate. So I'm just going to play this forward. And yeah, he went the same day. He left the same day, Lizzo. Very same day. So I'm just going to, have I stopped that? Do you know what I'm doing? So let's see what happens. I might have to go to the second one now. Because he wasn't committing to anything, was he? Hold on, I'm just playing this. Okay, this might be something better. It's not repeating because it's just go over it a little bit and just going on about that key all the time. So, listen from here.
It's an anticipatory defense for to mask something.
I mean, you're being far more charitable than I would be.
Yeah,
I read that first line and I thought, shut your mouth. Stop defending yourself. Your wife may still be on an island searching for food. Like I thought if this were my loved one and what he said really happened, my post would be, God help us, help me find my wife. I'm begging the Bahamians to get every search and rescue vessel out there. I am heartbroken. This has been the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I wouldn't want to suddenly defend myself against what people thought of me. You know?
Well, I mean, it does have an element of sort of a forethought and being contrived. So yeah, that was the sentence and the usage that kind of would draw my interest in what he said. And I agree with you. I mean, and you see these sorts of statements all the time when people are missing and the family is distraught, and you see these sorts of statements. It's definitely odd.
Yeah, I right away I thought, okay, that sounds like a guilty guy. Now, I'm not saying he is, and I'm not saying a crime has been committed, but just the way I read that statement
Me and
in
Ashley
all the
got him in
crimes that
handcuffs.
I've covered, and I mean, 38 years now, I'm not new at this. That just looked awful. But okay, I want to get you to put the boat captain hat back on, and note this, that they are not newbies on the water. They've been sailing together for more than a decade. They've been married for 25 years. I have been in many a dinghy, and I have also been in bad weather and bad water. And I've taken risks that maybe I shouldn't have, but needed to get where I was going because I was on an island and you can't walk. You got to take a boat if you're going to get where you need to go. But they were headed out, as he tells the story, they were headed out to their yacht. And as most people know, you take a tender, you take a smaller boat, and you get from land to where your yacht is moored, anchored. Why on earth would anybody do that in horrible weather that could have this kind of a result? If you've been sailing together for more than a decade, and you presumably, as a yachtsman, would well know how dangerous that could be.
Absolutely. I mean, as you've alluded to, I mean, the more one operates on the water, the more one becomes familiar with the unpredictability and the myriad dangers that the sea poses. So, with that level of experience, why indeed set off from shore at all, if in fact that's what they did. Now, if they did, then she would have agreed to or acceded to getting underway under those conditions. So if in fact they actually got underway at all, and assuming that she had her own volition, free will, then she participated in that decision. But we don't know those circumstances. It seems like a pretty bad decision certainly in retrospect, but as you've also said, sometimes people sort of take risks.
Got to get where you got.
Got to get where you want to go, and then in retrospect, it was a very bad idea. But you did. So I would think that as part of any investigation that's conducted, criminal or otherwise, certainly what they will be looking into were there any circumstances that mandated haste? Were they?
So what do you think? What do you think so far? Yeah, double tap, that's right. Please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. If there's anybody else in, let's see, because I haven't been seeing the chat. Hiya, Lee. Thanks for coming in. I thought I was going, look, I never wrote that. I don't remember writing that. My mind's going. I know, doesn't it sound shady? It sounds so shady, but I just love as it goes on the way Ashley Banfield, she is so passionate. She's losing her shit on the screen. She's like, I'm gonna tell you, I don't even like you. She just tells them. Leanie, I've got the clip-on mics on, and they said that they sound better than the headset, so I made up. Lee. And do you know Leanie's got these? And she hasn't even looked at them. Something wrong with her. So yeah, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for coming in. Let's get, what's this say? Dismiss Windows security. Microsoft. Oh, I don't understand all that. So I've just turned that off, and it probably needs updates too, and I haven't got a clue, so I'm not doing it. So I can't interrupt with the show. So I'll have to get a virus, that's it. She is not right though, is she, Mackie? No, she's not right, Liz. Not right in the brain. So everyone in the bushes, right? Can you come in and please hit the like? You can get back off. You can go back in the bushes if you want. Entirely up to yourself. Or come in and watch the show and talk to everyone. You're quite welcome. So I'm going to go back over. I'm going to move it forwards a little bit, to be honest. So bear with me. I mean, you can see, I don't even want to listen to him. Is it going to be all him now? Okay, let's take it to there.
Were at the helm of an outboard and someone else were in the boat, I would not want the kill switch on, because it would mean if I bounced out, that person could not come to get me anymore. You know, it's only to stop the vessel so that you can swim back to it, so that you can, you know, you're alone out there, you need that vessel. But if there's someone else in the boat, you need them to come and get you.
Yeah. And also, I would say not really along those lines, but the getting back to kind of the getting bounced out is the higher the sea state, the slower you're going to go, right? And there's sometimes, even if you're going slow, you're getting bounced around. But again, that's some significant sea state. So I would assume that if the waves were kicking up, they would have been going slow, which would have minimized the amount to which people are, could be forcibly ejected from a boat like that.
You know, the daughter also weighed in, and I'll just quote her. She said, Brian is always driving. So he basically is in charge of the key. He says the key. So the fact that my mom had it doesn't make any sense. Again, she says Brian was always the driver. And I suppose that's also a variable. If anybody's had some drinks, you change, you do whatever.
And the drink part of it, it occurred to me as we were talking about the fact that she didn't have a flotation device on, assuming this whole scenario is as related, but she didn't have a PFD on. And why couldn't she swim to shore? She was swimming to shore, but maybe there was alcohol involved, and that impacted her motor function. So we just don't know that.
He said, I last saw her.
Sorry, that would be also part of the investigation for sure.
Right.
Would be, with their activities and
we haven't heard that yet. We haven't heard about alcohol yet. CNN reported that Brian told officials he last saw his wife swim towards the shore. And then he apparently left a voice note for his stepdaughter. And this is what it said. And this is, again, Carly Aylesworth, the stepdaughter, has told the media that this is what the voicemail says. Hello, honey, it's Dad.
No, I'm not listening to that. So I'm going to go on. Yes, surely a body, but I don't understand it. If it was only in shallow water, apparently you could see it would have been up to it. What they said was like a thigh. She would have been able to. Where he's saying it happened, it's just not. She's a brilliant swimmer. So do you, Roman. You suck. So there you go. So if you don't like it, shut the door on your way out. But do me a favour, give us a little thumbs up. Thanks, Roman. Bye, honey. Bye-bye. So yeah. So hold on. I'll be back. So if you can still hear me, I'm trying to get this next one. Okay. I think this is where the daughter comes on, so I'll get it in the right place for you. Because she'll just go over it again and again. I think she's reading text messages out now. So let me share this with you. Oh, Maggie Charles got to eat too, plus it adds to the algo. I know, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered to move them in. Let them all come in. These can all come in. Come on. All the trolls come in. I'm ready. I'm ready, possum. Oh my God. And by the way, Roman, you're on the wrong one. You're not in here with us. You're on your own where you belong. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Roman. Where am I? I've got to present, haven't I? Oh, possum. Honest to God. First day back as well. Do you know what I mean?
Leaving Brian, Carly has told me that the circumstances were so bad that she had tried to leave him twice before, but that financially she felt tied to him.
Oh.
She felt as though her mother and Brian had been drinking a lot lately, and said that, this is what Carly said, that Carly's mom, Lynette, said that when Brian was drinking, it was so bad, it was embarrassing for the people around them to see his behavior. Also, there was talk of divorce. According to Carly, her mother had talked about divorce. And when I specifically asked Carly if she thinks that her stepfather killed her mom, her answer is harrowing. So you're going to see that entire conversation in just a moment. But I want to read for you some of the text messages that Lynette shared with a friend of hers. Some of them are from 2015, and some of them are from 2022. So let me start with the text message most recently from 2022. Lynette says to her friend, "Nothing but fighting since we bought the boat. Then he started turning to insults. So I packed my stuff and left. I'm in Florida visiting parents. I'm okay with it. I feel nothing. It's something I probably should have done 15 years ago. But now I need to find a job. I gave up everything I worked for. There's nothing to fight over. It's scary and exciting at the same time. I'm lucky to have awesome parents who support me, but I'll never marry again." Those again are messages from Lynette to her friend in 2022. And in one text to the same friend in 2015, Lynette says, "I was warned he came with too much baggage." You should know that, as Carly describes it, her mom and Brian were retired, and they were living on their 55-foot keelboat called Soulmate and sailing around. So this was supposed to be, living the dream in retirement. And that, if her mom wanted to leave, there was really nowhere to go because this was their home other than going to her parents or coming back to mainland USA and being with family. So it's just sort of telling the circumstance that Lynette Hooker was in at the time that she disappeared. Carly seems to think there may have been life insurance, something that her mom may have been able to get from her prior job. She's not sure about that, but you'll hear how she describes it in our interview. I do want to share with you a GoFundMe that Carly has started. She wants to travel to the Bahamas to try to figure out what is going on with the Royal Bahamian Police with this investigation. Will they charge him? She wants to see where this happened. Obviously, if this was your mom, you would want to go right away to lay eyes on this and make sure that what should be happening is happening. And so she and her family have launched Help Find and Honor My Missing Mom. Again, Help Find and Honor My Missing Mom. It's Carly Aylesworth's GoFundMe. And I think you'll notice in that GoFundMe, this is very sad, that she's acknowledging that it's likely her mom is not alive, because she's saying that the money that's raised will not only help her to travel there, but may also be used to help lay her mom to rest. It's very, very sad. Anyway, Help Find and Honor My Missing Mom is the GoFundMe. I also want to let you know that even though no formal charges have been announced against Brian Hooker, the lawyer who purports to be representing him has put out a statement. Terrell Butler in the Bahamas has released this statement, and she says, "Mr. Hooker categorically and unequivocally denies any wrongdoing, and in particular, the allegations recently made by Carly Aylesworth. He has been cooperating with the relevant authorities as part of an ongoing investigation. Mr. Hooker cannot provide further comments to the media or the public at this time while the investigations are ongoing." So again, that is Terrell Butler, Bahamian attorney, apparently
Now, I
retained
said,
by.
Liz, which I've just thought as well, that it was the same day and he left. It wasn't because he had a solicitor speaking for him at first, and he was onto the media and he was telling his friends says it was just so weird. He said you just wouldn't believe that his wife's supposed to have gone overboard. And rapper, don't be sorry, love. Not to be sorry about. I'm not sorry. So don't worry about it. But thanks for coming in, rapper. I hope you're okay. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so it wasn't. So he was on the island for a bit, but they arrest him and they keep hold of him for a week, and then leave him, let him go. And it was when they let him go, and he's saying that you'll hear him saying he's not going anywhere, blah blah, until he finds his wife. That he goes. He's never been back since, and then has sent someone to come and get his boat. So, how crazy is that? So,
Brian Hooker, as he is in limbo at this point. And again, it's early in the day on Thursday. It's just before 12 noon, Thursday, April 9th. So by day's end, who knows if there'll be charges or not. But, it took 4 days before an investigation was even opened. And it didn't happen right away with the Bahamians. It happened with the U.S. Coast Guard. Last night, late, I had to rush back and redo the top of the podcast because everything I'd done all day, the recording, had no investigation on day 4. And this is day 5 today. And late in the evening, the U.S. Coast Guard in the Bahamas opened its own investigation. And then today we learned that there is this criminal investigation. In fact, I think late last night, we learned that he was being detained. No criminal charges yet, but that there is this local criminal investigation that's ongoing. So here now is my conversation with Carly Aylesworth, Lynette Hooker's daughter. And, she's had a very long night. She's exhausted. She's talked to the press. She's talked to the authorities. She's talked to the U.S. Coast Guard. They're helping to liaise with her. She's talked to the U.S. Embassy. So this has been a living hell. So I'm very appreciative that she gave me this time. But here's our conversation. Carly, what is the latest that you've heard from the Bahamian authorities or the U.S. Coast Guard?
I heard from my lawyer that it turned into a criminal investigation last night. And last I knew, he got a lawyer in the Bahamas to represent him.
Has Brian made any overtures to you other than that initial voicemail and email that he sent?
He sent me some texts and he has called a couple times, but otherwise, no.
And when he called, were you able to answer the phone? Did you have a conversation with him?
No, I did not. I just let it go to voicemail.
And what effectively did he say in those texts and voicemails?
Just that he wants to be there for Rosie and I, his other daughter, and that he's doing what he can to look for her.
Were you able to ask him any questions back, meaning what happened, lay it out for me, sort of get him on the record saying what he says happened to your mom?
When he called me Sunday night, I was still in shock when he was talking to me, so I didn't really say much. I just said, okay. Just trying to process that. He tried to say that he was going to come up and visit and he would like to see us, but I didn't respond to that. And then he quickly got off the phone.
And this is like 24 hours after your mom had disappeared, right? That he made this first contact with you?
Yeah.
Were you surprised on Sunday night when you got this information? Did he say anything about why he waited so long to tell you?
He did not tell me why, no. But I was very surprised that this happened, yes.
What's your relationship with Brian Hooker?
He's been in my life for about 25 years now, since I was about 4 years old. He has always been there. He acted like another parent to me. I just know that him and my mom had some rocky issues, but they never dragged me into it. So, yeah.
So effectively, I saw one of the messages he said it's Dad when he reached out to you. Did you call him Dad?
No, I called him Brian. He was my stepdad.
Was it weird that in the message he said, Carly, it's Dad?
No, it's not weird. He has referenced that he's Dad before, but I never called him that.
It seemed as though in the Facebook statement, well, let me get your impression of his Facebook statement that he put out yesterday.
It was really sad to see. I know he loved her in his own way a lot. I don't know. It just sucks to see right now.
Oh,
Yeah. Did you think at all that it sounded defensive before it sounded concerned about your mom?
I don't know.
poor
I
girl's
don't know.
distraught.
Tell me a little bit about the relationship. You said that it's been rocky. How rocky and in what way?
Just that they get into fights more often when they drink, and I guess lately they've been drinking more. So I'm just concerned that something happened that can't be undone.
Oh,
And you know that they have been drinking more in what way? And how do you know that?
Yes, my grandma told me that she's been confiding in her and their relationship problems, and that they've been fighting more, and that it's been embarrassing for other people to witness. And she did send me a voice message one night that she was really drunk, but I just kind of like ignored it. I was like, okay, Mom. She's like, I'll talk to you in the morning. I was like, okay. So I just kind of brushed it off, not thinking. Like, I knew drinking was a problem in their relationship. They went about a year and a half being sober because I knew the problems that would arise. But I just kind of was like, okay, she's an adult. She can handle it herself, I guess.
Were you concerned about the level of drinking between the two of them?
Yes. Drinking is not really good for my family, it seems. So I just wish it never started again.
Do you know anything about where your mom and Brian were before they set out on the dinghy?
I know they went to Elbow K, I think it was, to go to a restaurant. That's all I know.
Has anyone in the restaurant, have you had a chance to talk to anyone in the restaurant about their condition or what was happening in that restaurant before they left?
No.
But is it normal for them to go ashore, go to a restaurant, and then go back out to the boat?
Yeah.
And the dinghy, I've seen in their social media, Brian driving around in a small dinghy. And I wondered if that's the dinghy that Brian is referring to.
Yes.
It's that small dinghy in the pictures.
Mhm.
So on the back of that dinghy is a very small engine. It almost looks like it's a 2 or 4 horsepower. Do you know anything about that engine?
It's an electric engine. It goes only a couple knots.
Very slow. Yeah. Not the kind of thing that you would bounce around driving. Yeah. And did he at some point say that your mom had bounced out of the dinghy?
Yes, he did say that.
Did he describe that any other way? Like, is there any more description to what he said?
Nope.
Have you ever seen anybody bounce out of that dinghy at the slow speed that it goes?
No.
Yeah, even with big waves, even if you were to go over someone's waves, it would almost feel like you'd go over them like a cork, not bounce over them with any kind of momentum, right?
You're right.
And let's talk a little bit about the keys. Everybody talks about the keys. Is it one of those kill switches that you put around your wrist with a coil that goes into the engine?
No.
What?
It's on a little string. It goes on like almost like a jet ski would, but it just clicks in with a little string dangling from it.
And what happens? So you put that that sort of system into the electric engine and it starts it?
Yep.
How would it go overboard? I mean, if you're driving, and would somebody have it around their wrist or be holding onto it, or like I'm trying to envision how that key could have gone overboard.
just stop it a minute because of the copyright. That poor girl looks like she's going to break down, doesn't she? She looks so sad. Every time I look at her and she's talking, she looks like she's going to burst out crying. Oh, feel so sorry for her. She looks like she's been crying and come on there. So sad. Isn't there some missing hours in his timeline? Yeah. Well, that's what you'll see, Lee, because with this just starting from the beginning, as the time goes on, like we know a lot more now, obviously, because it's been since the 4th. It's been over a month. So there's been a lot that's come out to that there's just a lot of inconsistencies and his timeline is just not believable at all. So I think, and Ashley Banfield thinks that it's just a matter of time before he's arrested, because they had him in the first week questioning him, but then they let him go. So there you go. It's crazy, but this poor girl looks like she's ready to sob her arse out. Feel so sorry for her. She's only a young kid, isn't she?
I've never seen anyone wrap it around their wrist. So I'm not really sure how she got it. She would have to really. I don't understand how someone could grab onto it when they're in the middle of falling.
It seems odd. Was there a coily kind of string on it, or was it just simply a device with some kind of a keychain on it?
Just a device with like a little rope on it.
A little rope.
Mm-hmm.
And did Brian say that your mom was driving?
Every time I drove with them, she never drives the dinghy. It's always Brian.
Did he claim that she was driving that night?
I don't believe so, no.
Is it possible that there would have ever been a circumstance where maybe Brian had had too much to drink and Lynette took over the helm?
Maybe, but I highly doubt it.
Did she know how to drive the dinghy? Could she have driven by herself if she wanted to?
Yes, she could.
Yeah. And she's a strong swimmer, right?
Yes.
As is he. I think I saw that he's a Marine.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out, he says to the police that they left Elbow Key at 7:30 at night, but he didn't wash up on shore after having paddled and drifted for about 9 hours.
Yeah.
Have you been able to see the distance that he's talking about?
Yes, someone got into his AIS system so they could see where he was, and it looked like he went up Elbow Cay like early in the morning Sunday. So I don't really know what happened between 7:30 and the time he went up the coast.
What's the AIS system?
It's like a tracking system for the boat.
But that would be a tracking system for Soulmate, the yacht, right? Not necessarily the small dinghy.
There is one for the boat, but I also think he has it on his phone.
And so did you see his trajectory? Like, could you trace that he actually did float all the distance that he said he did?
It did say that they were in Elbow Key by the restaurant, and then later on that night it went up the coast.
And you could actually see the distance that it had traveled. Any idea how far he had traveled in that boat, in the dinghy?
No idea.
But it did show that dinghy traveled the distance that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Did the police know about that?
Yeah, I showed the Coast Guard.
It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Also, tell me a little bit about what the Coast Guard has told you.
From what I got when they were here, just that they were getting all the facts to know what could possibly go on. And then they went to Jackson to talk to more of our friends and family.
But the Coast Guard is working in the Bahamas. I think I read that the Coast Guard was part of the actual search and rescue teams in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
The U.S. Coast Guard's presence in the Bahamas at the Abaco Islands.
Yeah.
And so are you dealing directly with the folks in the Bahamas, the Coast Guard representatives who are actually on site?
I have not talked to them. I have talked to the U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas just this morning. Finally got a call from them. So I know they're starting to do like their investigations and whatnot.
What did they tell you, the U.S. Embassy?
What exactly did they tell us?
That they're not the ones that do the investigation.
Oh, that they're not the ones to do the
They can
investigation.
be a liaison though to help us.
They can be a liaison to help us.
And so you got a contact at the U.S. Embassy now, at least, that can help you understand the process and what comes next.
Yes.
Is anyone from your family at this point thinking of going over to the Bahamas to speak directly with the Royal Bahamian Police?
I think my stepsister was thinking about going down there. I know his sister's already down there. I was planning on going down there to look eventually if I can raise enough money, but otherwise, no one has talked to them yet.
And you have a GoFundMe, right?
Yes.
What's the name of your GoFundMe?
It is Help Find and Honor My Missing Mom.
So at this point, we don't know if Brian Hooker has actually been charged with this, right? Just that he's being detained.
Right.
Has anybody told you anything about the criminal investigation at this point and what they have found and what they haven't found?
No, they have not.
But still no sign of your mom.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
When you first heard the news
the girl's going
that
to
your mom was missing, did you suspect something nefarious right away?
I was too in shock when I was being told, but as I was processing it, stuff just didn't add up to me. It just seems very unlikely that she would just fall overboard. And why would she be swimming away from the boat?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she be swimming towards the dinghy? Or why didn't he drop anchor and look for her? Just doesn't really make sense.
Does the dinghy have an anchor?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you have any idea, did anyone tell you about the actual currents in the place that they were between the yacht and land?
I did read somewhere that it was only a couple knots, the wind or the current was, but I did read that it was very windy, but the knots in the water, the tide was not going that fast.
But it wasn't.
So it didn't sound plausible. I mean, usually where you anchor, it's safe harbor. It's a place where you're not going to be yanking on your anchor all night. So the distance,
So why didn't he drop the anchor? I just don't understand how he didn't drop the anchor. He didn't even throw her a life jacket. Can you imagine the dude has been in her life for 25 years? She has to be in shock as well that this man could have been the one to kill her mum. Exactly, Leanie. The poor girl looks like she's about to sob. But that's what they said. They don't understand how he didn't throw a life jacket when there was two there under the seat because they didn't have them on and people went, we don't usually wear them, so that's normal. But they are always to be kept there. So we had them, yet thrown at that little board and didn't throw the anchor, stop the boat and throw the anchor down. And said that the water was only dead shallow anyway. It just doesn't make sense at all. So this poor girl's breaking me heart. She looks like she's going to cry any minute.
any idea how far from land the yacht was when they anchored and then took the dinghy into land? Like, how long was that journey that they had to make?
They did have to cross some water to get to the other island, but it's not very far if it's in the dinghy ride.
Any idea how far?
Do you know how far? No idea. I've never been there. I was at a different island when I was there with them.
And also, do you have any idea how bad the weather really was? Because he said the weather was, really bad, and that's why Lynette fell over.
I just know it was about 20 miles per hour winds, and it was about 3 knots the tide was.
But not roiling seas and rain and thunder and lightning. It wasn't a storm of any kind.
Yeah, no. I don't believe they would go out in a storm like that anyways.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, the whole thing just seems very odd. What
Mhm.
I have seen comments about Brian's temper in the past, things that you've witnessed. Can you tell me things that you've seen with regard to Brian's temper?
He gets away with his emotions sometimes. I've seen him do stuff to his daughter out of anger,
What?
and now I'm worried that it's happened to my mom, and it's something that he can't undo.
Have you ever seen him be violent with your mom?
I've heard stories from her, but I haven't seen it with her. I have seen it happen with his daughter. The same stuff that she describes happened to her.
And can you tell me what you saw with Brian and his daughter?
They were talking about something religious because she's super religious and he's an atheist, and she ran off, and then he followed her and grabbed her by the neck and was like, "Say yes, sir," to her in her face.
No.
And then we had to go to court for that, and I was a witness.
How old was she?
Like around 12. I was in 3rd grade, and
So
she's a little older.
she was a child when this happened.
God.
And what was the outcome?
They stopped coming over. I don't know if he was charged with anything, but I just know that Jesse and Jake stopped coming over after that.
These are his 2 kids.
Yes, out of 3. He has a 3rd one too.
And does he have a relationship with those kids now?
He does with one of them, but Jesse, he does not talk to.
Since that incident?
Basically, yeah.
How old is she now?
30 something.
So it's been an estranged relationship with his own kids all these years.
Yeah.
Does he speak with the other 2 kids?
He speaks with Jacob over FaceTime sometimes, and then Rosie, yes, he talks to Rosie.
And is it Rosie who is in the Bahamas now?
She wants to go to the Bahamas, yes. She's in Lowell.
And have you been speaking with those siblings about what's happened?
I've talked to Rosie, yeah.
What does Rosie think?
She doesn't want to believe that her own dad would do that, which I understand. It's pretty hard for me to even wrap my head around this, but she just was going to go down there to support him, to help look. But I even mentioned, like, I don't know if that's a good idea right now to get into this mess.
Do his kids have any suspicions about what happened, though?
I haven't talked to Jacob, but there is some speculation right now as to what actually happened.
What do they think?
She doesn't want to say, I don't think, does she?
That's he didn't do the best he can to look for her.
Yeah.
Do they think that Brian intentionally pushed Lynette overboard?
Oh.
They have a suspicion that something could have happened, but they don't want to say, like, for sure, because that's their dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think happened?
I think either she did actually fall off and he just was like, "Oh, well, look at all that life insurance," and just paddled away, or he pushed her out and she was unconscious or something. I don't know.
You mentioned life insurance. Do you have any idea what the policy, or if they have a life insurance policy?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming she does from her retirement.
Do you think that
Ashley
Brian
will-
had any intention of leaving your mom? Had they talked about separation, or had they been having marital difficulties?
They've talked about separating before, and the last time they were together, he did choke her out and threaten to kill her and throw her overboard. So the fact that this is happening 2 years later is a little bit like, how can we not be suspicious when you've already said that this was going to happen?
Going to choke her and throw her out. And the insurance. So the guy is probably covering his tracks now, and the boat has a tracking system. Apparently he's told one person one thing and told someone else completely different. But everything that he said happens, people are saying it's just I mean, people can die in the most weirdest circumstances, obviously, but I think personally, I think he's done it. But when you're further on, if you haven't already, Detour and Possum, I 1GI 11, if I've got that right. Yeah, drop the anchor. Why? I mean, for the years that you've been sailing, I mean, I wouldn't have a clue, but I'd have dropped the anchor. I would have been looking on that dinghy for something heavy or something to slow the boat, slow the boat down to do something. It just doesn't make sense at all. But to say that that's what he's going to do, what? But I don't know. It's just, and then the watch, where she was wearing the watch on the last picture that was taken before she got on that dinghy, the watch was on her wrist. And then the watch is not on her, and it's on the boat, the big boat, not the dinghy. So it makes you start thinking, have they made it back to the boat? Has he done something? Because there's no witnesses. Has he done something and killed her on the boat, thrown her in the dinghy and took her somewhere, covered her up and took her somewhere to throw her out? I mean, could he throw her out somewhere where there's sharks or something? Can he, would that be possible on that little dinghy? Because there was all like, they were inside. Like, imagine you're in this cove, lovely shallow cove, and surrounding it is like all little, like little hills, like little sandbanks, like little bits of grass on and stuff like that. So it's like they're in their own pool, basically. It's like all blocked in. So they don't understand, because it was in there that she's supposed to have popped out. She's supposed to have bumped out in that, like their own, it's like their own sea, pool. They can't go anywhere. That's why they all dock there, or whatever it's called. Oh, thanks, Maggie. Okay, so there's all kinds around. Like, I'm just trying to see. I'll get some pictures up, but it's just like when he went out, which is a bit weird, is there was all boats around them, all like docked, the usual people that live there, and no one witnessed anything. Apparently, there was a flare set off. He said he set 2 off, but no one witnessed 2. They seen 1. And something was happening from the boat. There was like this bright, it looked like a bright light, like a mirror, like something had caught the light and it was reflecting. And they're trying to work out what that was. Yeah, so a lot of land and a lot of water, yeah, but it wasn't that deep. So I purposely, hello Joseph, sorry, I was listening. I can't even see Joseph. Sorry, Joseph, I can't see you, but hello. Yeah, so you could have thrown it to them sharks. Who's to know that he hasn't strangled her? Thrown it in the dinghy, strangled her on the boat. So they've took that. That's a crime scene now. That's took. Strangled her on the boat and then took her somewhere to feed her to the sharks, because he was gone for 9 hours. He said he got swept out and it took him 9 hours to get back. And everyone said from where he was, all these people that sail, from where he was, it would have took him tops 4 hours, but it took him 9 hours. Yeah. So.
Did your mom confide in her mom, your grandmother, specific incidents, anything that had happened between her and Brian?
Yeah, she mostly confided in my grandma.
And do you know what she told your grandma?
Just that they've been fighting more often lately, especially when they've been drinking, and that it's embarrassing for other people to see. And she has mentioned that it's not safe to be with him.
She told your grandmother it's not safe to be with Brian?
I don't remember where I read that, but she has said that to one of her friends at least.
And what can you expand on that? What did she mean by it's not safe?
I'm guessing just when he starts drinking, he gets a little bit more, he gets different. And she did complain about him, how he acts when he drinks. He just gets more like smart assy and feistier, I guess. So, yeah.
Did she ever tell your grandmother or any of her friends specific things that had happened?
Just about, I think that she's told them more than what she's told me. But I do know that there's like a picture of bruises all over her back from one of her friends. And she mostly tells my grandma all of that stuff.
Do you have that picture of your mom with bruises?
No, I don't.
Who has that picture?
One of her friends in Jackson.
And is that something that you're going to forward to the Royal Bahamian Police as part of their investigation?
I believe they did, yeah, to the Coast Guard.
Did your mom say that the bruises were from Brian?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No.
But do you know for sure?
I don't know 100%, no.
But her friend, your mom's friend, told you that the picture exists?
She told my grandma, which told me.
Right. Has anyone in your family ever suggested to your mom that she leave Brian?
Yes, multiple times. Every time she leaves him, we don't want her to go back, but she always goes back.
How many times has she left him?
I know for sure of 2 times. One when I was in high school and one 2 years ago. But I'm sure there's been more times.
What are the circumstances of her leaving him? Like what precipitated it? Do you know?
Just when he choked her out. That's what made her leave last time.
So the final time was when he allegedly choked out your mom. What about the time before that?
That was in high school. She didn't tell me why. She just was in my room crying when she told me.
And what did she say?
Just that they're gonna get a divorce.
She had talked about divorce beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
Did she say what his reaction was?
No, I just know that he was crying downstairs because I heard him crying.
Brian was crying in the house after your mom told him she was leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Was he angry?
Not that I know of.
Were there any other times other than these 2 times that you know of that your mom may have tried to leave Brian?
No, not for certain.
And they were retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so did they have plenty of money? Were there any financial struggles or issues between your mom and Brian? Did Brian have any debts? Was there anything that you can think of that would give some motive?
Not that I know of. I do think she has life insurance out from being retired from AT&T. I know he doesn't have any retirement from AT&T, so I don't know how good he's sitting. But I do know that last time they broke up, my mom told me that she's better when they're together financially, but when they're apart, she's gonna have to work if they broke up, and she was gonna try to work at the post office.
She had actually talked about having to get a job at the post office to live separately from him?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
2 years ago.
And so do you feel that your mom was financially pressured to stay with Brian against her will?
Probably not.
But she mentioned to you that she's financially stronger when she's with him, and if she's not with him, she would have to get a job and come out of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Was there retirement to be on the boat and sail around the world, or were they just on a visit to the boat?
Their plan was to stay on the boat and travel around.
So they were living on the Soulmate yacht?
Yeah.
A 55-foot yacht?
Something around there, yeah.
Did they sell their belongings back at home?
Yep.
So that was their home. I mean, there was nowhere for your mom to go. If she wanted to get off the yacht, she didn't have another home to go to.
Exactly.
Did she ever tell your mom that it was a mistake, that she wished she hadn't gotten on the yacht,
Probably.
but didn't mention anything to you?
I do have text saying that she sold everything to be living this dream and now has to leave it or something like that. She sent text messages to my friend or one of her work friends about it.
So tell me a little bit more about those texts.
Thank you.
Ashley's taking, she's not giving up, is she?
Right here. Nothing but fighting since we bought the boat. Then he started turning to insults, so I packed my stuff and left. I'm in Florida visiting the parents. This was in 2022. Yeah, that's basically.
Are there any other texts like that?
She said it's something I probably should have done 15 years ago was to leave him. Yeah. That's basically it.
Who are these texts to?
Her name's Corey.
Is that a friend?
She used to be a friend, yeah, a work friend. I don't know if they're still close, but I know they were at one time.
And these were texts that Corey sent you?
Yeah.
In light of everything that's happened?
Mm-hmm.
Were there any other texts that they sent? Her friends? Or your
No.
mom? Or your grandmother? Did your grandmother have any text messages from your mom?
Probably, but I don't have them.
And are you in regular communication with your grandmother about everything that's happened?
She's tracking everything else.
I've talked to her every day since.
If you had a message for Brian, if he was watching this, what would you want to say to him?
I'm sorry this is happening. I really hope that it was an accident. I hope you understand that I just want to know the truth of what happened, because a missing person is a big deal, especially since it's my mom. I just hope this was an accident and everything will be okay, I guess.
Do you think that he killed your mom?
No.
It's not not a possibility, but yeah, probably.
Intentionally?
I don't know if it was intentional or his anger got the best of him, but I feel like there is a possibility that something could have happened.
I just want to ask Lindsay, who's on the other end right now, if there's anything that I've missed, if there's anything I should ask you that I haven't asked you.
Probably terrified to say anything in case he chokes it out when he meets her.
Yeah,
Okay.
did they have a group of friends that were in the Bahamas, or were they just by themselves? Were there anybody around that they spent time with?
Not that I know of. I do know they have some boat friends, but I don't know where they're located.
So not necessarily in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Right. And Carly, is there anything that I haven't asked you, or something that I don't know, or that nobody knows at this point, but that you'd like to say?
Not right now, no.
And anything in the history between your mom and Brian that I haven't asked you about, you haven't mentioned yet, something that comes to mind that is important to this whole situation?
Just any support for my family right now would be greatly appreciated.
Did you ever fear that Brian would do something like this to your mom?
I feared that he would hurt her in some way, but I never would have thought that this would have happened.
You thought the worst it would be was maybe more bruises, but not something this serious?
Yeah.
And given the history and the text messages, the pictures, the concerns that your mom even had about staying with him, do you now think in retrospect it's possible something did happen, that maybe he did do something terribly, terribly bad to your mom?
I have a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Carly, I'm thinking of you and I'm hoping the best for you and your family. And please know that we're praying for your mom and for you and for the rest of your family as well. Thank you for talking to us today. And I hope we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
So that's where it stands. Again, at roughly noon on Thursday, April 9th. But I'm going to be following this.
Well, yeah, and she does follow it, and she gets so passionate, as you can see there. She won't give up. She's asking, she's making sure she's told her everything. Do you know what I mean? So she's really pushing her but the girl's probably terrified to answer. Because he could end up getting it, do you know what I mean? Who knows? She's probably terrified. She's only a young girl. Brian is a convenient liar. I would get help immediately, not 9 hours later. I know. I never even told her, Gito, the 24 hours before he let her daughter know. Hiya, Ken. Hiya, Taylor. Thanks for coming in. So, I mean, it's so sad, isn't it? But Ashley Bansfield does amazing at this. It's like she wants to be this girl's protector. She is like, she's fighting for her own. I think she's brilliant. She won't give him. She tells him she hates him. She can't stand him. Yet she's really pushing it. That's what I mean. She looked a little bit like awkward, didn't she? Like she didn't want to answer, but like felt that she needed to. She looked a bit scared to me, a bit worried. Felt a bit sorry for her. And Ashley Banfield was writing everything down. But she won't let not on a miss. She picks up on everything. Everything at all. Everything that she puts down. My God, what's all them numbers? So who have we still got here? Leanie's still here. Lunchy's back after making the dinner. What did you make to eat? What did you make to eat, Lunchy? Did you make a school dinner? So we've got 29 watching. I don't know where to look to see how many likes we've got. I haven't got a clue. But if you can all hit the like, please, and subscribe if you'd be so kind, it would really help the channel and help me to not get strangulated by the boss. She wouldn't strangle me. I'd strangle her first. But yeah, please hit the like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. And thank you very much for being in here. So I'm going to stop sharing that now, and we can do another one on Wednesday. Catch up on the next bit, and then we can just do that a couple of times a week until we get to where we are now, which won't be long to do that. It's stopped for a while. It went really quiet. So yeah, Maggie, thank you covering this. Oh, Gail, do you know what? It's an absolute pleasure. I'll never be as good as you doing it, Lee, but there you go. You are the real MVP of the day. Great job, Maggie. Interesting. You're welcome. Oh no, it's just so. It's as I say, I was watching it and then missed a bit with everything that's gone on. So I wanted to read all the little bits in between because I've heard where they are now, but still no rest. So I mean, they had them for a week in the Bahamas and then let them go. So, but now it's gone to the Coast Guards who are cops or something. And they've got it all. They've got the boat now, a crime scene tape around it, but they've took the boat. So, but it makes you think that because when they took the boat, Brian, he got off. He sent someone. Apparently, it costs a lot of money because you've got to get a captain, someone who knows everything about the boat, to go over and get that boat for you and bring it back. And that's what he paid someone to do. So that man was on his way back with the boat, this captain, and then the Coast Guards all surrounded the boat and told him he's got to get off. It's now a crime scene. So you see the video of him saying, oh, like he looks a bit worried. Obviously, he doesn't know what's gone on. So that happens, and that's how they've took it. And it's now in their hands. They're looking into things. But he's had time to get rid of stuff, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? And clean. Then surely they'd see all that. They must know how to look for stuff like that. The interviewer seems to ask a lot of investors. Oh yeah, Ashley Banfield, she won't let anything go detour. She writes everything down, and she really digs deep. It's like she's really looking out for this scale, and she's trying to get answers for it. She's totally does not like Brian, and she makes that quite clear as it goes on. And everything she picks up, she goes to the Bahamas herself, and she's looking at the situation, and she's just, it makes it more unbelievable when she goes there and she speaks to the people in the bar where they had a meal and a drink. So she speaks to them as well. So that'll all be on the next one. But he's had more than enough time. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? What, is he being cleaning? But I'm sure the watch that she had on, the smartwatch, which shows you everything, she had that on her last photo before she got on the dinghy, and that watch was on the boat. So work that one out. If that's true, that's what I've heard. And what else? He said she was wearing black, but she was wearing that the bright coloured. Let's see. It's got the pictures here. Let's see if I can share this. She had the bright blue shirt on her. So there's the boat there on the right, 55 foot. And these photos. So if you look there on the dinghy in the middle of the screen on the left, she had that shirt on her when she was sitting just before she got on the dinghy, which you can see them sitting on there. She's like her daughter, isn't she? Look the way you can see right through that water. I'm trying to see if I can see a picture of the way the land was with the things around, the little bits of like little islands, like somewhere you could get off and sit on. Well, it looks like that to me. Maybe it's not. Just trying to find. So you see this picture here in the middle of the screen on the left, in the middle, where there's like, you can see the land and it sort of goes round. It's like that. It's like they're in like a secure place. Do you know what I mean? So, but you'll see this anyway as the time goes on. It just doesn't make sense when it's explained to you. So, what's he say there? So there it says, Brian and Lynette Hooker started their day at the Firefly Resort on Elbow Key, which contradicts earlier reports that they spent the entire day exclusively at the Abaco Inn. Yeah, they were literally sitting just in front of the water on chairs, just chilling out, and that's where you see the watch on her wrist. So until next time, dun dun dun. Had so much. I'd like to know the statistics of how many people drown in that water and how many people get taken out with the current. Well, that man that was on before talking to Ashley Bansfield said, obviously, as we all know anyway, it can happen. You know, many a person has. But where it happened, I don't think there's a grace. There's not a lot of people because they could stand up in the water and they hadn't been going because the little dinghy doesn't go fast when she's supposed to have bounced off. And she was an avid swimmer. She was a fantastic swimmer. So they couldn't understand how she didn't swim back to the land because she wasn't far from it, according to what people have been saying, and why he didn't throw an anchor. Anything to slow that boat down, and he didn't throw her a life jacket. Leanie, I have 4 more days. She won't know what to do with herself. Lunchy's going to be like that. Are you doing a live? Lunchy, you'll be doing lives as well. You'll be back on doing your lives. I bet you any money after a week, Casey's going to be phoning you, going, Mom, can I come over with Izzy? She's missing you. She wants to see you. She's crying for you. And you're going to go, yeah. And you're going to be dead excited. And then she's going to go, there's Izzy. I'll see you in about 5 hours. I'll go and do this, that, and the other. And then you that's it. You've got it again. Then you'll be crying. You don't know what to do. But you see, you're in mama mode now. So once you're in it, you're in it. So you'll probably be made up. Agree with Maggie. I'll still have Izzy. Throw it over here. I'll have her. She's funny. I thought she was, you know, when she was in the little pool and she was dragging it up, I thought she's going to bite that and it's going to burst and that water is going to go everywhere. Where did you have that? Was that in your lounge? Or was it sort of outside on decking? I couldn't. I mean, it looked like it was inside. I thought if she bites that water is going to go everywhere. Have I missed anyone else that's been in here? Because when you're doing all that, you can't come off that screen, can you? Or it'll go small for everyone looking. Oh wow, isn't funny how we can use his so much chums with the picture. Oh, that was funny today. All them pictures. I thought, oh please, I need to do some. Oh, I'm going wrong. I couldn't do them. If that's what you're talking about. Probably not. Lunch lady brought sandwiches. Sandwiches. Lunchy, you'll be back to making Polish sausage, all the old school meals and stuff like that. And you'll have Izzy. Have you been feeding Izzy? She looks like you've been feeding her all the school meals. She looks like she's got little bands around her arms. Oh, she's dead chunky. But you'll be able to sleep in. Izzy won't be at your door as early. And now, God help her. And you know what? The dad, she had to say to him, can you come and get her a bit earlier? He was going home and having a full day's sleep. And poor Lunchy was left. She was getting picked up when it was time for bed. Cases, aren't they, these kids? Anyway, I'm bowing out. So if anyone fancies a little chat on Discord, let me know now. And I'll close this down and I'll make my way over. Still in, you get to like once a week. Oh my God. Lunchy, we're already laughing at your summer. Not terrible, Lunchy. Is JB gone? Is she all right? Or has she got a headache? Can't see. She's not in here. And I know she'd be vocal if she was. She'd be fighting with Lunchy. Right. So we'll be going over to what to have a chat before I go to bed. I'll close this down And let's have a look. I forgot how to do this, you know, Leanie. I forgot how to do it. Let's see. When I first came on here, oh my God, it was so different. Things have changed. Okay, so I'll meet you over at Discord. Thanks for all coming in anyway. I'm made up. If you haven't already, please hit the like. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'll be made up with you. Thanks very much. Thanks for everyone in the bushes. Hope I've entertained you some way or other. If not, it doesn't matter. Maybe I will next time. See you all soon. Thanks, Tito. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. I know Dawn was here, but Dawn went. So maybe she'd rather have Leanie, and that's fine. Because I'd rather listen to Leanie, do you know what I mean? And yeah, thanks to all the mods. Thank you all for being here. I'm made up. Thanks so much. Now let's see if I play this right. Let's see, I've got I just try and be professional. It just goes tits up. So here we go.
Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while, you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Leanie, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, but she needs you, and that's the beauty of according to Leanie. So thank you for your time. You are a friend of mine. I'll be happy to see you again on the next According to Leanie. Be good or be good at it. Until next time, lovely, lovely, lovely. Next time, lovely, lovely. Life is hard and life is wild. It can be sad or full of smiles. And every once in a while, you need a break from the mundane. So come back to see your friend, or she'll wonder where you've been. According to Leanie, she appreciates you and all that you do. You need her, she needs you, and that's the beauty of according to Leanie. Be good or be good at it. Until next time, love Leanie, love Leanie, love Leanie.